Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat Diva player, and I believe this is in open queue. Yeah, this is clearly an open queue based on the red team here. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join the Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have, all that good stuff. Okay, so we're set up on the high ground. Perfectly reasonable spot for our Diva to be. You have yourselves a real team composition.
Stick with me, and I'll cover you.
Okay, so that's useful. You now know that that's... Oh, let's make sure that's launched. You now know that that Widow is over there, so you are going to just sit here until the team pushes in a little bit. And by the team, I mean the other team. You want this team to push in a little bit so that they're either here, so that you can loop over and go get their Widow, or so that they're like in here and you can push and go contest their Widow. You're waiting for there to be some separation because you want to be able to challenge the Widow and then be able to drop and be able to safely drop, not just get run over when you do so. So let's see what you do. Way early. Way early. If this Widow had gotten help, and you don't know fully what the other team is because we're not after the 15-second mark, maybe your team called it out, maybe they didn't. What if this Widow had gotten a Mercy and a Diva to help them? What if you'd been like, aha, I'm going to surprise the Widow, and suddenly there was a Diva and a Mercy helping the Widow up here? What would you do? Whoa, no big deal. You just drop. Oh, shoot. You just drop into a Reinhardt. Maybe a Doomfist. Maybe a Reaper. Whatever. Like, that's not what we want. Maybe you drop into a Junkrat trap and get punished. Like, that's not what we want. So we want our contesting of the Widow to be when this space is safe. We'd also really like our contesting of the Widow to be while our team is fighting the other team. Either they're fighting here or our team is raining chaos down on the team that is sort of rotating through here so that this team, is in a position where it's hard for them to turn around and offer help. But hey, you got your timing wrong. It happens. Let's try and do better. Hey, Semitic. You don't really want to spend your micro missiles there because you were never going to finish her. If you want to bother her a little, so be it, but you don't really want to spend your micro missiles because you'll want those when you're actually going in for more reliable damage. I don't mind using micro missiles in the poke phase, but it's actually pretty likely that you'll try to fight her for real in the next 7 seconds, and now you won't have them. Yeah, like you would be very interested in just dropping on her head right now, and when she then uses grappling hook to get away from you, then you'd be interested in pursuing her with missiles. Wouldn't missiles be great now? No, finish her. What are you doing? What are you doing? Drop and finish her. You don't need to No, you don't need to run. You can decimate her. You can decimate her. You can afford to use boosters to get into her face, DM with your micro missiles up. When she unscopes, when she unscopes, she takes that away from her eye. You can drop your DM and be left clicking her. Like, you can crush her, and you cancel your boosters when you get to her, so that you'll have them back in time to go back up here or to get out if her team comes onto you. But her team's way over here. They can't support her. You should take her out. You shouldn't be going, yes, I'm not letting her have shots because I have this. No, you can actually take the elimination. You have to recognize when that's there. I'm surprised they didn't chase her too. Oh, look, that Widow you didn't finish. Just got rid of all your armor. You have to go low ground. You left the name Cello? Understandable. Cello, yeah. Okay, so you know what the composition is. You have full awareness of this. You were correct in first point in believing that your job, given the heroes that your team has on the board, was to contest the Widow. That was a correct understanding. Hey, Dylan. Contesting the Widow is still very high on your job list, and you see a Widow smoke stream from her shot. You might see one, but you didn't get it there. So contesting the Widow is high on our list, and we have to figure out how we're going to get there. Great. I like it. No, I don't like it. This pathing was good. You could have made it to here. You could have made it to here. You could have contested the Widow, and she'd have run. And that would have been great, because then she's not in this powerful spot. This is one of the most powerful spots she can be in for attacking this point. And you being here doesn't let her have it. So why would you stop here? This would be good. This would be good if she didn't exist, if you were just shooting these tanks in the back or shooting the back line in the head, etc. This is good general diva positioning, but you have a Widow that you've got to deal with. Okay, you're kind of 0 for 2 with your job of handling this Widow so far. On the plus side, the opponents now don't have a Widow. They're playing triple tank against you. Okay. You can't close this in time, you're going to get hooked. Wow, you just didn't hook. Great. This is fine now. This is fine. Okay, and then you just drop. You literally just take this step back and drop. I know the hog's here. You don't need to be DMing this hard. I don't know why you're DMing this hard. Do be aware of the hog behind you, though. Okay, now turn and check for the hog. Yep. Level 104 in Plat, I'm jealous. It's open queue. It's open queue. Can confirm a support player. I appreciate people who unalive whatever. There we go. How much damage is a diva allowed to take before it counts as feeding ult charge? The answer to that is, what are you spending your health for? It's perfectly okay to spend health to accomplish things as any tank. It's perfectly okay as diva to go, I am spending 400 health, that's just an example, not a number, to contest the pharmacy that is raining down on my team for 3 to 5 seconds while my team is aggressing onto the Hammond, for example, and trying to eliminate the Hammond. I'm spending my health with a purpose. Am I feeding the pharmacy ult charge? You better believe I'm feeding the pharmacy ult charge, and I'm spending a lot of health to do it. But it's for a purpose. It's specifically to allow my team to make a play at a moment when they're trying to make a play. It's not about, oh, I can only spend, I only did 100 damage to this Pharah and I spent 400 health, so this is unacceptable. It's not about that. It's about I spent the health at a time, since we'll do, I don't know, maybe we'll make a little hourglass here. And we'll have little dots of sand. At a time that was appropriate for my team to do something. Or I went and spent health to get rid of the Widow, to get the Widow out of a position where she was just dominating my team, or she would have been able to dominate my team at a time when it was important to do so. It's about spending your health for a purpose. Or I cleared, to use less of those examples, or I spent my health to go, hey, I spent my health to clear something so that my Hanzo could take the spot. Like, it's not about, oh, you're not allowed to spend your health. It's you're spending your health for good, valuable purposes. Tanks are going to disproportionately spend health. It's how their heroes are generally designed. Can you get situations where you go, hey, I spent 100 health and I did 500 damage? Absolutely. But it's okay to unevenly spend health as a tank. You have to do that sometimes when initiating. It just has to be for a good enough purpose. Very good. I see. I see. As long as you achieve something, it's okay. Yeah, and you'd prefer not to actually get eliminated to achieve that thing or lose your mech to achieve that thing. But yes. I do a service to my team by letting Widow eliminate me so they all know where she is. Well, maybe not that. Maybe not that.
Time to raise my DVA.
Okay. Didn't really need to retreat that hard, but okay. Great. You put your missiles into him. You tried to boop him away, though perhaps not super efficiently, to keep him off of falling up on his shatter. Works for me. Okay. You threw the DM immediately, hoping to catch the flash. Are you going to flash DM again?
Get through this.
No, you're not. That was pretty much exactly when we would have expected him to flash the second time. So I would have liked to see DM. It was available, but so be it. I also changed my in-game name to Coached by Temporal so everyone knows. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. As long as you're not throwing while doing so, I suppose. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should do some marketing spend, and I should get a bunch of top 500 players to change their name to that. Maybe that would be a good use of marketing dollars. Okay. Here we go. They have grab. I want to see a guillotine. I would like to see that too. Okay. You don't need to be shooting these guys in the back here. I don't mind you shooting these tanks in the back here. You seem to like doing that. They're very easy targets, and it's valid. But it's just as valid to go, hey, I'm going to be over here, and I'm going to shoot the supports, the backliners that are here. Like, if the tanks were a little bit closer to you, I'd say, yeah, have at it. Shoot the tanks. But honestly, with where things are, with the fact that they've gotten this far away, they're kind of far. Your spread, your fall off are kind of hurting you at this point. You'd really be better off going, is there something here to shoot at? And sure enough, you could have taken out this Zen quite a bit quicker if you'd been working with your Hanzo. Turn back with the DM. Good, good, good. Did you get enough bronzies to go against Llama's team? No, I'm being pretty casual about those signups. But if we have bronzies in the chat right now or in the Discord who want to go up against the Llama team, reach out to me. We'll make it happen. Quick, get some gold players to T-rank. Okay. This is okay as positioning, especially because your other person is holding the high ground. Protect him. He got discorded, so you'd throw your DM over him. You can, yeah, there you go. Okay. Take the close target. It's way better damage. I know the hog was weaker, but it's way better damage on the close target. Good! You got robbed. I would like my mouse, please. There we go. Okay, so I want to see what happened here. Was there just a follow-up hit that you didn't DM, or did you get robbed?
Taking off. I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
Were you just too slow? You might have just been too slow.
Get in position. Taking off.
I mean, she's not fully in it. You might have just been a little too slow to turn that. I'm going to choose to believe that. I'm going to choose to believe that you were just a little too slow. Right idea, though.
I think that takes a little under. No.
I think we have enough bronze or formerly, very recently bronze players to qualify, guys. Like, I think we can, without having people derank, I think we can get enough people for the challenge. We might use some people who are now silver, who were very recently bronze, because I think Llama is training these guys over time, and I'm not necessarily going to organize a 6-stack to train that same way, so I don't mind using some people that we've recently trained up a little bit, because by the time we actually meet up, they should have trained up, and perhaps some of them would be past bronze. You know the drill. This is open queue, yes. Okay. Yeah, they were running 3 tanks. Still are running 3 tanks? Yeah.
Defense matrix activated. Need healing.
You did. It's open queue. Okay, so what you're watching for when you're protecting your Hanzo like this is you're watching for, is his angle open? If his angle isn't open, like if his angle is closed, I don't need to protect him. And are shots coming at him? For his first shot, you almost certainly don't need to DM him. But you'd kind of like to communicate if you're going to let him greed with DM. Or you're just going, I refuse to communicate, I'm going to bail him out when he's in trouble. How do you tell when he's in trouble? When his health gets low, maybe? When he gets discorded, maybe? When you see a bunch of shots flying by him, because that means there's damage going in his direction, maybe? Okay, well, those could all be signs. If you're not just going to flat tell him to greed the angle while you DM him, you've got to watch for those things, and you have to be close enough to be sure your DM is going to reach him. No, stay close. There's no reason for you not to walk up right to the edge of this. Right to the edge of this. As long as you understand what you're doing, you won't fall, and if you fall, not a big deal. But get as close as you can. You saw a shot, you saw a DM, you saw damage, you should already be DM'd. You're already too slow. And now there's nothing to DM because he's hard running. Now you might end up DMing him to protect him, but this DM's too early to protect him. This is just wasting DM. Cool. I probably wouldn't have bothered to DM it, to be honest, because now it's locking you out of DM, and you knew he was only ever going to get one real shot on you before getting booped down. That's fine. Why are you boosting in circles on him? Do you think that does something? Okay. You realize that Zarya's low enough to micro? Yes.
Get through this.
Good. Don't know about this. You expect that Reaper got a Mega in here. They didn't, but you expect that it did, and you went to challenge them back here. I don't know about this.
Time to raise my APM.
Okay. Like, I'm willing to go, hey, I'm going to prepare to challenge it. Like, I boost her over and wait up here, and I shoot him in the head type thing, and I can back if I don't like it. or maybe boost to here where you have the option to shoot them if they go out and, kind of waddle away if it becomes a problem. But just like this direct challenge when I expect them to have a mega and I can't guarantee what the timing of the fight will be in terms of when my team or if my team will join, less of a fan. But hey, it worked out. Temporal cough equals mercy press Q. There you go.
Thank you.
People like to trash it, but it's one of the hardest comps in the game. I don't know if it's one of the hardest. I'd say it's a comp that was developed further. Like, we got to keep iterating and iterating and iterating and iterating and iterating and iterating and iterating on goats because it hung around for a really long time. So, like, the coaches really got to flex their understanding and build their understanding and keep adjusting during goats because the meta lasted long enough that we were able to build a 100-step ladder as opposed to maybe the 5, 10-step ladder that exists for most metas. And you can say, but there's been other metas that were around for a long time. Dive was around for a long time. No, not in that way. Dive had more changes. And also, even though, yes, original Dive was around for a while, original Dive had more things to hide it. You could just go, my Genji's better than yours, my Soldier's better than yours, my Tracer's better than yours, my Winston's better than yours, like the individual player, and it really made a bigger difference than understanding. Like if you went, here's the 10-step ladder for Dive, but my players are just better than yours, that can really shortcut you, that can really just overcome the steps more effectively. In GOATs, having the better players matters, sure, but it doesn't matter how good your Reinhardt player is, how good your Zarya player is, how good your Diva player is. If they don't know how to play GOAT, a team that's meaningfully worse than them on the heroes can outperform them much more so than a team where you could go, hey, our team understands the fundamentals of dive, the setup, how to do it, how to get the angles, how to battle for space, etc. Well, no, because when it comes to battling for space, that's mostly an individual effort. Tracer's meeting on the side, Winston's meeting on the side, Genji's battling for space to set up their staging, and that comes much more down to 1v1s and 2v2s, and that comes down a lot more to which individual player is better, not how good was your teamwork to enable it. So I don't know if it was really one of, what did I see there that signaled this? I don't know if it was really one of the hardest. Maybe that's the right way of thinking. I think it was, we were allowed to go the deepest with it. Could we go that deep on, I don't know, Brawl? Could we go that deep on Double Bubble? Yeah, we could probably eventually go that deep on Double Bubble, but we're not terribly likely to because it probably won't stick around that long. And which team has the better Ashe? Which team has the better Ana? Which team has the better Winston? Those things matter a little bit more than, okay, do we understand exactly how we need to change our nade usage for this specifically? Do we understand exactly how we need to evolve what our tracer does to take space specifically during the Winston dive, etc.? Do we need to evolve specifically what our timer is for when things happen to better and further optimize? Okay, well, Winston does his first leap as soon as he can. He has the Zarya bubble, then he has his bubble to last after that, etc. And then he's going on a timer where he's intentionally jumping the second time before his bubble is available because he knows his bubble will become available, but then he's mentally got to track it to be different for the third jump because now it's too far off, etc. And let's also sync this up with, well, this is, is going to be set up for this, and we should do this so that by the third jump we always have nano type stuff. Like we could get really advanced with these in theory, but the meta's not likely to last long enough for it to evolve in such a way. Okay. Legit question: how much DM should Diva save for things like Reaper ulti? You don't highly regard Reaper's ultimate. You don't. You don't really highly regard Reaper's ultimate. You're not really going, oh no, the Reaper ult is going to be a problem. You're not like spending it willy-nilly. Your DM usage does change as you understand what ultimates are on the board. Don't get me wrong. But Blossom isn't really something you respect very much, to be perfectly honest, because so many things shut it down. Like, DMing him for half of DM, a full second of him not doing damage, he should easily get destroyed during. A half second of him not getting damage is probably enough time for people to figure out another solution, be it a flashbang, be it a Briggs bash, be it headshotting him a couple times, be it, you see what I'm saying, where it really sort of becomes eh. And yeah, it's just not a high enough tier concerned old unless you start combining it with nano and speed boost and start throwing what did we call that? Beyblade metas out there? Yeah. Beyblade meta. Now I'm dating myself. Okay. And Goldie rarely gets eliminated even if you matrix him. I hear you, but it's still generally better to, how do I want to say this? It's sort of like no, I don't want to go there necessarily. I can't afford to just let the Reaper free fire into my team out of fear that if I spend my Matrix to prevent him from free firing, he'll blossom. Because if I prevent him from doing any damage for 2, 3, 4 seconds, say 2 seconds of a hard brawl, where it is like a hard brawl, these teams are right on top of each other, really mixing it up, etc., and I don't let him do any damage for 2 seconds, or more likely for like 3 seconds, I let him do 3.5 seconds, I let him do very minimal damage because I'm, using my DM a little more intelligently, that is going to be like, okay, I didn't let him do damage for all this time during a hard brawl. Well, now I don't really care if we blossom because if he blossoms, because we should have gone up 1, gone up 2 people in that time, and now he's having to blossom to try to get back into a fight, and we probably have other solutions. Maybe we'll get a sleep on him. Maybe Moira will just fade away. Maybe Hanzo will just hop away, etc. And I don't want to not use any of my DM or go, oh, I'm super worried about my DM being on its internal cooldown, because it's really only going to take like a tick of DM to buy a little more time for my teammates to get a little further from his blossom, and then he's not dangerous type thing. Anyway. Poor Reaper with a below average ult because Reaper's like bottom tier. Yeah. I don't know that that's true, Lion. You're saying Reaper usually wipes my team if he flanks with it? I don't think that's true. Like, maybe that's true, but what's probably going on there is a bit of bias in your memory, where you remember the big catastrophic event where he wipes your team with a flank blossom much more vividly than all the times that his blossom got nothing done. Like, it's a much more eventful thing. It's a much more traumatic experience, so it sticks in your memory better. Would be my guess. Imagine if you DM a dynamite and it goes right through it anyway. Yeah, I hear you. At least it isn't Tac Visor. That's true. Okay, you guys are distracting me too much. Back to our review. Okay, there's a Hanzo in your face. You can't DM yet, but you'll have most of your DM when you can. You are going to DM. Okay. I don't necessarily love that. He's just going to wait. Okay, you want to go recontest that Hanzo? It's your job. It's not your job to eliminate this Zen. It is your job to make this Hanzo leave again. To shift at this Hanzo, to boop him down, make him leave again. Is he going to climb right back up? Absolutely. But if you shift at this Hanzo, boop him down, maybe shoot him in the head a little bit, and then just drop yourself right back here, maybe walk, go get the health pack, he'll come up, you boost at him again to knock him down again, that would be very much diva job territory. And it would be stopping him from having this extra angle on your team that you don't really like. No, you're going to do this. This you landed there. That was well done. Really? Like, the Genji's bothering you, but you have full DM, so the Genji isn't really bothering you. You're choosing to be bothered by it. You're choosing to be bothered by the D.Va. You're DMing nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you're boosting into the dragon to try to knock the Zarya off. I like finishing your boosters here. I just hate the decision to booster through the dragon and the just ignoring of the Genji. You can't just ignore the Genji and hope he'll go away. He's like a bee. If you show fear, he's going to follow you around. If you just turn and fight him, he'll be kind of annoyed because even though he'll trade health unevenly with you and you'll lose more health than him, etc., he'll not like it and he'll eventually go, okay, fine, I'm going to leave. But like, fight him a little. Fight over here. You could have fought him a little. You could have just gone, okay, I'm gonna do. It's annoying. It's annoying that you're above and behind me, and that's a flick that I'm not super practiced on, but I'm still gonna try to fight you. And then you'll do your little jump hop and be over there, and then you'll try and be over there, and then you'll try and go back over there. It's annoying. You're gonna make me aim up, and I don't like having to aim up because it's a flick that I'm not practiced at. But you're gonna have to do it anyways. Your weapon has pretty good spread. Even if you're not getting good hits that are good damage on him, you'll still get some damage on him. And you're just going to have to suck it up and do it. I want a temporal Q&A stream where we can ask for random tips. I do those all the time. Have you guys seen me at the end of streams? I ask for questions all the time, and I rarely stay on topic at the end of streams there. And some of my streams, like, I don't know, once every couple weeks, we do get into it for like 15 minutes with an AMA temporal thing. We've turned too many temporal streams into that. Yeah, he believes it. He believes it. Or Blah, not believes it. Blah knows what I'm talking about. Okay. Love temporal Q&A sessions. Hey, I enjoy them too. They're fine. I'm just slowing the review down too much, and I should handle that more at the end if we do it, so that when people are watching this for the review, that's what they can get. But it's all good. It's all good. You guys are welcome to ask questions. You guys are welcome to do all that in chat. You guys know that. I'm not telling you to be inactive in chat. You can ask. You can do all that. I'm just going to potentially move along at some point and then circle back.
I'm ready for battle. Think you can keep up with me?
Okay. So,
Let's shoot for a new high score.
Here we go.
Ready, player one.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Let's defend.
Okay, are you scouting for your team? No. Okay.
Get through this.
You don't need to DM it. Your run shield is up. Fine. Fine with me. Fine. You don't plan to fight. You don't plan to fight for the next few seconds. Okay. I don't love this, but the Widow, your Widow is down, not theirs. Okay. Gonna fight from above. This is good pressure. You see it's purple, you're gonna go for the Elim, you bailed out. You kind of missed your window here. Wasn't purple anymore, was gonna get help, fine. I just don't know where you plan to go. Yeah, so like, you had a chance to all in for this Hanzo. If you weren't gonna all in for the Hanzo, you had to figure out, where am I actually going? Are you going here? Are you going here? You did worst of both worlds, where you like started all in the Hanzo, then changed your mind, started to go there, didn't, and ended up here. And it's like, well, now you're just doomed. You're just doomed. He was probably going to that high ground. Yeah, that's I think what he was doing, but didn't make it. Just wait.
I have your back. I've sighted the enemy.
Okay. Didn't see the first McCree shot, apparently. Okay. Nice. Almost. You tried.
Shoot you down.
Perfect. No. You have DMing to do. No. You can't still be leaving. You just saw that window come up. You have DMing to do. I totally don't mind that you were thinking this is a place that I'd like to go. I like that you figured out that Diva likes to off angle. That's a good thing for the hero to do. But you do actually have to pay attention mid-fight and two things that are happening, because while the off angle is a good generic place for you to play, you play from the off angle in part because, oh, it's the off angle. It distracts the enemy. It makes them think about me. It gives me easier headshots on them. It compromises the cover. All those things are good. But part of why you play the high ground off angle for Diva is it gives you access to the fight. It lets you use your short cooldown boosters to get back into the fight and put your relatively short range DM these days where it needs to be. The place your DM needs to be is blocking out this window plus Valk damage. There's an insane amount of damage coming at your team, and you just need to cast DM over it right now. So if we look at this, here you are. You're doing this. They have the Valk going right now. You're doing this. I'm okay with this. You go, okay, now we're going to do this. I'd like to go off angle. And that window's already forming. So you just need to, as soon as your DM is available, you need to hard DM again. You have to. And would you like to go, hey, I'm going to hard DM across, maybe at a diagonal like this, where the DM's protecting me and going sort of in this direction to protect the back of my team? Yeah, that would be better than just looking forward and DMing straight. DMing across at an angle like this would be better. But you need to do it. And you could DM across, and then when you're out of DM, you take a step back and you fall to the low ground where they're not threatening you. That would be how you'd play Diva here. You can't go, oh, you guys have a window and a Valk going, I have half my DM left, peace out. No, that doesn't work. Good idea. You tried to cancel the res. Right timing. There used to be an exploit on this map where you could get stuck above the sky and just shoot down and eliminate an event. Ooh. Why is it better to do that from angle? Why is it better to do this from an angle? Because you have map access. There's a couple reasons it's better. One of which is it's not really great here to be like, yes, I send my DM out. Your DM is a cone, which means your DM gets a little wider as it goes out. So you actually have a preference. Your cone covers more if you do it from an angle like this. Your cone covers more space if you do it from an angle like this. This really helps, actually. To do it from here in terms of the surface area or the meaningful surface area that your cone covers if you do it like from here as opposed to from here. It's going to be a little hard for me to draw, but if we do our cone like this, great. There's our cone. Okay. That's some useful space we covered. If I do our cone like this, those about the same size? Yeah, those are about the same size. And the enemy's perspective is like this. This blue cone is actually doing more. It's actually threatening. It's covering more space. I should have made both of these a little bit bigger and a little bit longer, but it still illustrates it from here, where this blue cone from this angle is more annoying to this team to try to get damage past than this purple cone here is. That's a little hard to explain, a little hard to describe, but like, I can't really draw in 3D space here, but this is giving you more geometric protection than the pink one is. The pink cone sets you in a place where, hey, I can, fire around this pretty easily on either side. I just have to get a little bit to the side of it to do this, whereas I can do much bigger swings much more quickly of this blue cone too, where I can go, okay, let me adjust this blue cone. You're starting to go over here, over to the left. Let me adjust this blue cone back a little bit, and it does even more protection. Whereas with the pink cone, I have to make big sweeping adjustments if a person adjusts. Like if a person on yellow team adjusts to here, I have to sort of make bigger adjustments of my cone that compromise more of the threat from over here. Oops, of the threat from over here if I do adjustments on my pink cone to block this, whereas my blue cone, that same adjustment or a smaller adjustment, now this new angle doesn't work. I hope that sort of makes sense. It's not the best drawing in the world. I would really need to have 3D space to do this much better. It's the same as looped armor on tanks. You get more thickness on the angle. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, here we go. Makes sense. Good. Okay, unfortunate that they came through this way with you, but you'll still be able to take high ground. You didn't go hard enough to boop him? Okay, he dropped anyway. Do not want. You don't need to hard DM this. Your Rhine shield is fine. Please don't hard DM this, covering the same direction as your Rhine shield. Go protect the... Absolutely go DM to protect your Pharah, though. Too late. Were you not even thinking about DMing your Pharah? Yeah, I don't really care about this lamp. I'm going to be honest, my priority immediately went to protecting my Pharah, not the lamp. You don't have much DM, but I still want it. Okay, please now go to your Pharah. Please now go to your Pharah. You boost, but you boost on the ground as opposed to straight at your Pharah. Like, I want the straightest, the shortest possible path to DMing my Pharah. DM is really powerful for disabling ults and enabling your teammates' ults. You know he doesn't have lamp, but he got out. Okay, it's a reset. Why did you cancel your booster? Because you want the Zarya? I don't know, man. That means you lose your mech. Like, you're for sure not getting out. Okay. Or we could just let Pharah get eliminated and self-destruct. Yes, we could. But when you're trying to finish maps, not letting your teammates get eliminated is really more important than getting eliminations. When you're trying to finish the last point on a map and the enemies are on top of their spawns. Good. Okay. Okay, you didn't really have to leave. You definitely didn't have to drop. You could have absolutely been like, I'm going to shoot from here, because your Anna could see you if you wanted. But hey.
Take cover. Get into position.
It's a lot of DM for what? The high noon, okay. We missed it with my pause earlier. We missed the audio cue. It's not happening anymore. What are you DMing? What do you think you're denying? Like, DMing over your Reinhardt when he's swinging is an absolutely valid strategy. DMing over the other Reinhardt to deny Anna healing, absolute valid strategy. That Reinhardt is getting Moira healing and plenty of it, and your DM is not really... I mean, it's protecting your Reinhardt in some ways because most of this damage is going through your DM, but most of the damage your Reinhardt is worried about right now is Coalescence and a potential Rein swing, which are both sources he can't handle. Or which are sources your DM can't handle, rather.
operational.
Shatter happens. That's annoying. Window. Window went off, and I have 3/4 DM. Where can I go to block this window while saving my mech? Oh, I know. Right here. Right here is where I can go to DM the window while saving my mech. Okay.
Fully operational.
Okay, it's too late. The most important portion of the window to DM is the beginning of it. That's when your team is most likely to get burst down eliminated. If you cover the first half second, second and a half of window, that's all the time in the world for your teammates to get to cover. You are helping your teammates cover for their bad positioning when you DM to cover a window. And, the further away they are from cover, the more help that they're going to need, sure, but it's the beginning that matters of the window. For the most part.
Get through this.
Are you supposed to DM noon to give your teammates time to eliminate Kree or get to cover? Or are you supposed to do it late and try to eat it? Both. No, it's situational. The answer to that, Levy, is it depends on the situation. You end up going, hey, it's not quite true to say both. The answer to that is if your teammates aren't weak, what you end up doing is you go, I'm going to let you have the first half second to almost the first second of high noon for free, because his damage ramps up significantly. Like the speed at which it ramps up. So it accelerates. So that first second or so, little less than a second of high noon, I really don't care about unless I have weak heroes. Unless I have squishy heroes that are already missing a lot of health, they're not really going to be threatened by it. He's really not going to want to pull that trigger for the first 0.6 to 0.8 seconds. He really doesn't want to do that. So I'm not too worried, and I can actually be putting pressure on him with my diva, going, I'm going to bother you. I'm going to jet at you. Pink robot is going to show up in your face. You're not going to be happy. And then I have to make the decision of how much health do I have? I only have 200 health. I better hard DM. I have full health. I might do what we saw Diva do in Owl in one of the games we reviewed. Was it Chobin, I think? Where we go, you know what? I have 500. I have 600 health. I'm potentially going to reaction test myself and let you shoot one bullet and then DM the rest. Or I'm going to maybe not intentionally try to react to your shot with it, but I'm going to greed a little bit because I have this. And as long as I'm sort of already pulling the button when you hit the trigger, the DM button, I'll be okay if I do happen to take one shot, so I can get a little more greedier. So maybe I won't wait 1 second. Maybe I'll wait 1.3 seconds. Maybe I'll wait 1.7 seconds before I pull that trigger on the DM. Because your DM's then only going to last a maximum of 2 seconds here. So you sort of have to be going, high noon can last 6 seconds. Maybe I get to something approaching 1.5 seconds before I pull it if my health is good. I'm going to get at least half a second regardless. The first half second, I'm just not remotely interested in DMing. The first second, I'm mostly not interested in DMing. It becomes a question of, do I do this at 1.5 seconds? Do I do this at 1.2 seconds? Do I do this at 1.8 seconds? Do I do this at 2.5 seconds? Probably not. Like, that becomes your equation. With high noon specifically. Math changes a little bit if he's got a Mercy amp. Math changes a lot if he has a window. Math changes a little bit if there's a Discord orb in play. But I think I've answered the question. Okay. Yeah, eating the Mayday Mayhem nades does... Eating them... The real key is you want to eat the Mayhem nades because they're worth lots of damage. And if they're worth lots of damage and it's a sub-diamond game, you got to eat those Mayhem nades because they're worth a lot of damage, and that'll increase your damage eaten stat or whatever, and that probably matters for the SR metrics, right? I'm kidding, but they are still a good idea to eat some of the time. Um, it's not that he charges faster through Widow, it's that the bullet's damage gets doubled. So he'll hit his thresholds much faster, even though it won't necessarily change his acceleration of the speed at which it gets 2 more damage. The bullet's still going to do double damage. DVA is definitely one of the most powerful heroes if played correctly.
Ejecting.
I'm on fire. Keep out of my way. I cast this force.
You didn't even try to eat that? Like, there's basically no cost to trying to eat that. There is a minimal cost, but you have full DM. Just swipe that up real quick. Don't let Moira get ult charge. You're very unlikely to get punished for using a tick of DM here. It will have recovered by the time you need it again. It's just a question of, was it a trap to get you to use it on that so they could throw something bigger while it was on its internal cooldown. Okay. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I knew it. Oh, good, good. You didn't do it.
This.
Okay. You're doing it to land yourself there.
I thought you were going to challenge.
You're gonna go up there. You're gonna break it. You're gonna drop to break it. Break the lamp. Break the lamp. Break the lamp. DM. Fine. Use the DM to shift out. Good. That won't hold. You're trying. Oh! Oh! So close.
Ejecting.
Well, he's still primal, so that works then. Then you haven't seen me on Tracer in response to one of the most powerful heroes who played correctly. Okay, okay. I look forward to seeing that Tracer then.
60 seconds remaining.
Window. Window. Okay, that's a window. We got to get our DM across it. We got to get our DM across it. And like a bunch of bad things almost happened to your Rhine right here. Like this McCree tried to flashbang your Rhine. There's a window that's going to just shred your Rhine shield. No, 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 no. I don't care if you booster or not. I kind of do because your positioning was fine without boostering, but throw your DM here. DM. You need to react to these ults. Like, it doesn't matter that you're safe. Your team probably isn't because, you know, they're teammates. They generally aren't.
Allow me to repair the damage.
30 seconds remaining.
Time's running out. Everyone.
Eat it. Why did you not? Okay. You should have eaten that fire strike. You had the tell that he was doing it. Swap to the lamp. Swap to the lamp. 1 second. You know that the lamp is what's keeping him alive. So swap.
Nerf this. Suiting up. I'm back in the fight.
Really? You didn't put pressure on the tire?
I'm back in the fight.
It's pretty easy. You know, like, where the tire spawns. It's not that hard to put the most of the pressure on the tire there with your weapon. This is like a symptom of you not believing you can take out the tire. That's what this is here. You should destroy the tire.
Routing power to forward barrier.
Okay.
This will heal you.
Okay. You've got some things you could work on. We could go forever with you. We could go infinitely deep on getting better with DM. We could definitely talk a little bit about some of your positioning stuff. We could talk a little bit more about self-destructs. You at least do a good job of getting yourself into situations where you are then on high ground when you throw them. I see you tend to favor that, and that's fine with me. They're not critical for you to level up right now. The things that you are going to get good Diva value from is, first, you just have to understand this, Widow. You need to understand how to handle her, when to handle her, etc. I'm a little surprised that you don't, because I do understand that you play other tank heroes, and if you play Winston or Hammond, you should have a pretty good understanding of how to handle her. It's not wildly different with Diva. It can be different with Diva if you're choosing to handle her by enabling your own poke hero to handle her, and we saw a little bit of that where it wasn't versus the Widow, but you were choosing to try to enable your Hanzo here. That needs some work. We talked about judging. Well, do you see a Discord? Do you see incoming stuff? Do you see shots going past him? Are you talking to him to say greed, greed, greed as you hold the DM on him? Like that. But going back to your Widow matchup, you need to understand that you pressure her after her team has left her, and you preferably pressure her while the teams are fighting, or just before the teams start fighting, to give your team a green light to actually fight, to come out of their cover to go fight. But after her team is not in a position where it's super easy for them to go help her, and when your team can engage on the other team, are when you're looking to contest the Widow, and do contest her. And it is important to contest her. You can't just let her live in a power position over the point doing work. That said, you don't just sit up here, or what actually happened, sit up here to deny her the power position. If you did this appropriately and her team is quite a bit away from her and she doesn't have grapple, you can drop down and eliminate her. Please do. You have a very favorable matchup. A very favorable matchup. As long as you understand, hey, I want to DM when she puts her eye to that scope there, when she actually puts her eye to the scope there, I probably want to go ahead and DM. That's okay. And you can DM either for a moment, you can DM until she mistakenly fires a shot. You can DM until you have boosters back and can move her and you, which will throw off her aim enough to justify you going for shots again. You can DM while you micro missile to put enough pressure on her that she's going to unscope to try to run away. Like, all of these are options, and there's ways out of DMing that aren't just I have to hold DM forever. So, like, you can beat her. You can definitely beat her. You definitely should have dropped on her and fought her. That's the first thing that I want you to work on, even though it's only going to apply when there's snipers that you have to deal with and it's your responsibility to deal with them. There were enough problems with that I want you to address it. The second thing I want you to work on, after you've addressed that and spent like 5 to 15% of your brain power while playing focused on working on something, and then once you've got the first thing worked into your autopilot, move on to the second thing. The second thing, and you might end up working on it first, is I want you to understand your reactions to ults as Diva should not be, oh, I better get to cover. Your reaction should be, I need to get DM out there. I need to get my DM into mess with the opposing ult that is coming out. If it's window, if it's high noon, if it's tack visor, if it's, if it's any of these things, I need to react to it. Barrage, even if it's a friendly barrage, a friendly high noon, a friendly tack visor. These are things I want to think about getting my DM onto. So, like, you should sort of just instinctually be going, oh, I'm doing something, oh, I'm doing something, oh, an ult's going off. Let me get my DM involved in that ult. Now, there's ults that you have to be more preemptive and thinking about than this, Blizzard, Grav, etc. But for now, let's just handle the step of these ones that even if you're reactionary to, you can get some value out of with DM. These are sort of the low-hanging fruit to get DM value with. So like do that. Oh, my Genji's pulling out his blade. Let me jump over there with boosters and throw my DM over him so that he doesn't get slept, flashed, etc. Those are the things that we're looking to do with our DM, and I'm particularly at this moment worried about when the opponent is doing these things and you're just like going to cover, ignoring it, continuing on your merry way to your off angle without reacting to it. So you got to be, when I'm diva, my reaction isn't go to cover. My reaction is get my DM in the way of this ult to mess with this ult. My DM is not going to last forever, so if I can, I would like to DM it and then be able to slide by in a corner right as my DM runs out, to be able to drop off a ledge right as my DM runs out. But my first priority is to get some level of DM in the way of this to enable my team, even if I don't personally need it. So that's what I want you to work on, and I think that's going to change the value you get with D.Va quite a bit, because, that's the best part of her kit. And it's not really just about, oh yes, I DM to shut down that Blizzard. That was great. I ate the Blizzard. I ate the Grav. I ate the Dragon Strike. By the way, you got a Dragon Strike eat there. That was nice. It's also about, I use DM to help cover for my teammates not having perfect positioning. My teammate wasn't playing right 100% on the corner. He was playing a little bit off the corner, and my DM helps cover the tac visor long enough for him to correct back to here. That's what we're thinking about here. It's going to help you a lot defensively, and if you're losing less teammates, you're going to win more games. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. Let's get caught up on chat here. Okay, so Mayhem nades, D.Va's hard. Matrix unfortunately does not eat tire. That's true. But matrixing your own tire for a moment, you can't keep up with it. You can't keep up with it. I'm kidding. It's a bad habit of mine on McCree because I don't trust my aim to destroy the turret. Yeah, gotta fix that habit. Gotta fix that habit. It'd be nice if there was a list of things DM can and can't eat. We could probably make a video on that. I feel like that's already been done. That's got to be listed somewhere. There's got to be a good Reddit post on that, and we could probably make a video on that. And Sig's shift as well. Yep. Does any D.Va skin give advantage? I don't think so. In fact, I'd actually argue some of the D.Va skins give a disadvantage because they make extra noises when you shift, like sirens, which are just an extra distraction for you. So I don't think that there are any D.Va skins that are OP the same way that Reinhardt has, touchdown OP that muffles and changes the timing on his Earth Shatter sound effect a little for the enemies. Should I hard heal a feeding D.Va or write her off so she plays less wastefully? Not at the cost of supporting your main tank, because I'm assuming you have a main tank, so don't hard heal your D.Va at the cost of supporting your main tank. That said, if you have the option to heal her, if you're in a state where I need to keep triaging her even though I'd like to go damage boost someone else, yeah, you should probably triage her repeatedly to get her out of trouble rather than do that even if she's feeding. I'd think on that a little bit more, but that's my stance for the second. Is Anna reload cancel with melee still a thing? Old YouTube's videos showed it. Sure, but to what end? Like, you can go, yes, aha, I have canceled my Anna reload, the back half of my Anna reload animation with a melee. Okay, so you did part of your reload animation, then you melee'd. Did you get value out of that melee? If you did an Ana reload cancel because you're going, aha, I canceled the back part of my reload with a melee because that hit, the Genji that's on top of me. Like I took my shot at the Genji, then I punched him. That's great. That's fantastic. Cool. It's not very often that that's going to be the case, though. So then it becomes, does the melee cancel actually let you fire your weapon faster? And that's the real question. And no, I don't believe that currently lets you fire your weapon faster. They've gotten rid of almost every case in the game where that was true, where doing some sort of cancel lets you actually use your weapon again faster. So if that's true, someone certainly pointed out, but I don't think it is. Is Nano Diva ever a good idea? Sure, Nano Diva can be a great idea. A Diva in a Reinhardt's face, for example, does a lot of damage. If they have a Nano, they're going to do even more damage. A Diva in a Winston's face is going to do a ton of damage with a Nano. Nano Diva can absolutely be fine, but it's when they're already in brawl range and they're already in their effective range. It's when they're already point blank on someone. It's not to tell them to go in. Okay. I think that is going to do it, and we are going to do another one after this. So I'll be back online in a couple minutes. Hope to see you all there. Thanks, guys. Temporal.